It's been a long time since New South Wales posted a number of new cases in a day with just 3 digits, more than 3 weeks ago. But today, 935 is the number, which is a really significant improvement on what we've been seeing for the last week or so. It continues the gradual improvement in this 7-day average, so that's continuing to drop. About 1,200 cases a day is the average at the moment, which is still obviously a lot, but it's now trending in the right direction. We want to be sure it's trending in the right direction in all of New South Wales, so we're seeing that improvement in most of the LGAs of concern in Western and Southwest Sydney. We want to see it now as well in the rest of Sydney and in regional areas, because there are still spot fires appearing. There are still concerns like Cowra going into lockdown because of a new case in that area, and they'll be on lockdown for a week while that situation is assessed. We have 4 more deaths today, unfortunately. 245 is the total in this outbreak, and this is a number that's a bit lower than what we've seen for the past few days, but I think we'll see some larger numbers in the days ahead, because there are still, as I say, a lot of people falling ill, a lot of people being diagnosed, and the 7-day average is still about 1,200. So I do not think we've seen the worst of this, even though 4, while tragic, is a much smaller number than we've seen in previous days. In terms of the hospitalisation pressure, this number of people who are people admitted into hospitals, being treated in hospitals, well, it's been about 1,200 to 1,250 for a little while now. It's flat at the moment, which is better than the New South Wales government says it was expecting, according to the modelling they had received. But intensive care admissions are about where they expected to be, 236 at the moment, and 123 people, the most seriously ill, on ventilators. These numbers don't include people being treated through a hospital in the home type system either. There are thousands of people getting some level of care through that system. Thankfully, at least, even though there are thousands of those people, the growth in that number has also been slowing down, sort of in line with this number. So we'll see where this trends from here, but we're yet to see the worst pressure on particularly our intensive care units. Because of the cases we're still yet to see, the cases that are only just recently diagnosed, that are still part of the peak that we are hopefully now moving past. In Victoria, 567 cases is the number today, so we had very fast growth in this curve a week ago. It's slowed down in the last few days, kind of back half of last week. Maybe stabilising again, the reproduction number may be stabilising. It's a bit hard to tell in real time, and there's a bit of uncertainty about where we go from here, and various models that suggest the peak in Victoria might happen at various different times, anywhere between a couple of weeks from now or sooner, right through to the end of October. So a fair bit of uncertainty about what happens here in Victoria. Unfortunately, still growing, particularly in Melbourne's north and western suburbs, but not growing as fast as it was a week ago. So that is a good thing to see. And the ACT, well, that's been an outbreak that has been remarkably consistent, case numbers in the teens every day, but today a really good number, just 7 new cases, and you've got to go right back to the early days of this outbreak to see a number that was smaller than that. Of these 7, all of them linked. Some of them did have exposure in the community. Is this a trend? Are we going to see the outbreak come to an end here? I do think it's a bit early to know anything, say anything declarative about that, because we've seen this thing bounces around quite a bit. Is this a blip? Are we going to see numbers back in the teens? Are we going to see the numbers get higher in the coming days? It's all a bit unclear with this outbreak, but certainly the longer this number, this curve can sort of be capped in the single digits and low double digits, well, the more time you're giving for the vaccination rates to build up, which will eventually help extinguish this outbreak if the lockdown remains, or at the very least will give people more protection as this virus continues to seep through the community.